Okay, so today we are breaking out of yesterday's opening range, which is right here. I love how it keeps everything on the chart for you so that you can make reference to it from yesterday. And now we are inside of Sunday's opening range, right? We're inside of the high time frame supply zone. This is just a mess, right? That's real messy. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart. Yeah, okay. This is just a market edge, right? Rally and this pivot candle drop. We've got a drop base drop here. Well, yeah, we're inside of all of this, right? Now here's a rally base drop right here. Let's box that out because that's pretty significant right here. Will encompass all of this. All right. And it looks like it is breaking on through to all of that, ripping through to all of that. Almost 9:30. So I believe the mistake I made yesterday, I jumped the gun while I was waiting for conditions to be met. That was a mistake. Now we have conditions met. So anywhere you see fit to jump the gun, I'd say that's okay. And I wrote about that in my journal. You know, it was an observation that I want to make sure I identify and let you guys know about. It's okay to jump the gun. It's okay to jump the gun and get in early, but you have to have all those components met. What I was doing is I was so anxious, to win that, we didn't quite have that 3 hour CCI. It was cycling down too. Those are bonus components, and I think we had just broken above, the 1 hour, and then it kind of hovered below. It wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And so taking the trade outside the strategy, it cost me some profit. I didn't lose any of the firm's money. I just gave back profit that I made that week. We don't want to do that. So today, we have to see the reaction. What kind of reaction are we going to get off this supply zone? Because yesterday, look at this. Each time each one of these candles came into the supply zone, it ripped all the way back down to demand. Supply zone, ripped back to demand. And then finally went a little sideways, retested demand. And now all of a sudden, we're getting this big move up. It was just a matter of time. So we were correct about what was going to happen yesterday. At the very beginning of the day, I said, hey, we're going to have a big day. This thing is going to break through this structure, probably break through Sunday's opening range. Maybe we get that today. We definitely have the components met. Here we go. CCI on the 3 hour is just starting to break above positive 100. CCI on the 1 hour is just about ready to break above 200. Very strong readings. The only thing I want to make you guys aware of, I'm looking at the 5-minute chart here, and we're about to become extended on the 5-minute, right? Look at this, right? Here's 1, and this makes 5. Okay, so we're in the 5th wave here. Maybe it pulls back and makes another move to the upside. I don't know. But this is where we want to see a shallow retest. Okay, here's 9:30. I love that. I love how that bar comes in there on your trend cloud tool and paints that bar, letting you know, hey, time to focus. It's game time, right? We're almost through the complete supply zone here on the opening range. We've got a nice base rally here on the 5-minute. Again, we are in the 5th wave. Does that mean it wants to pull back below the 50 and hit this previous month's high again? I think the previous month's high, I think that would be a great entry at this point. If it does in fact go back there, which it could, because that's where it's going to recalculate. How far down is it going to go? Shit, I don't know. But we just broke through all of this structure. I wish I was already in this thing because it looks like it started to take off early. 5-minute, we did get a trend cloud signal right here, right at 9 a.m. And then this thing started taking off. I wish I was already in this, but we're going to let the opening range form and then we're going to make our decision on that. So perhaps the opening range forms at the same height as Sunday. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a pullback here. Perhaps it would be a good idea to jump the gun. We got all components met. This is a rally-based rally right here. We could retest that. It's right inside trend cloud. I'm also contemplating taking a full contract on Topstep for this. It would only be one contract, so we would have to take a target, but that is the deal right now. That is what we are looking at right now. Look at this guy. This is what we were looking for yesterday. It was just the timing was off, and I should have waited. I wasted that was $500 that I had to give back, and so that put me back at 379.60. Not happy about that, but hey, it happened. We will get them, right? We will get them this time. So there you go. Here's the 15-minute chart. Oh my God, here's yesterday's opening range, broke out. Oh my goodness, why didn't I just take the breakout of yesterday's opening range? All these things go through your head. Really nice, consolidation. This could be an area. This could be a pullback area. Perhaps we mitigate, some of the risk. We can enter the trade here. We can set it up. We can set it up with the micro contracts. This is the bottom of the. Oh, look at the bottom of the opening range here is the top of yesterday's opening range. So far, right? So far, very very bullish candle. Right? Very bullish candle forming the opening range. Yesterday, we didn't have that. We had that crappy bearish candle forming the opening range. Wow, look at that 5-minute candle. This is all 5-minute candle here. Just breaking above Sunday's opening range. Golly. Unbelievable. How much further is this thing going to go? Where's ADR? Okay, so ADR. There it is, guys. There's ADR. That's definitely the target for today. Nikes. What a fucking A. All right. Well, this fucking thing is probably going to go all the way to ADR. Do we get in right now on, look at where this is. What's that going to cost us? Get in by 5. Oh my God. It's not even going to be able. Well. No, it's fine. It's just about $500 right there. And here it comes. Here it comes. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh geez. What do we do? I'm gonna let the opening range form. I'm just gonna let it form. We've got a lot of time left. We've got a lot of time left. Maybe we get a pullback to this area here, which is what we really want. I'm gonna place that, but that's actually below. That's actually below the opening range. This is the candle right here. This is the candle right here. What is ADR? 2309.250. Pretty much it. Good night. Let me make that a different color. That's ADR. That's the ADR. Well, it is what it is, right, guys? It is what it is. That is the friggin' ADR right there. And this is the 15-minute candle here forming the opening range. Okay. All right. All right. So, from here to here, that's just about $500 with 5 contracts. We are in the 5th wave. So this is going to be a very extended 5-minute. This is a 5-minute chart. We're looking at a extended trend is about to form. The candles haven't turned blue yet, but you could see here 3, 4, and then this big breakout makes 5. And ADR is right there. What a shame. Man, oh man. We got to be smart about this. We got a lot of time left. This was a big move. This was a big move. Big move on that opening range there. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. Here's where the breakout took place right in here. ADR. This thing is just going to rip to the first ADR checkpoint, and maybe it goes to the second one, but we all know what happens when these things hit ADR, right? It either goes sideways or we start to pull back. So real sorry about giving back that $500 yesterday, but we can't let that mentally, break us down. Still in the green, but we have another whole 5 minutes left on this opening range. Hopefully, we get some quick pullback. But where is this thing going to pull back to? As of right now, go back to the 5, does it pull back? Does it pull back to the trend cloud? Here's the rally base rally right here.
Might try a 50% pullback.
Good idea. Let's see. Fib retracement, swing low. What happened here? So far, that's it right there. 50% pullback. It's pretty close, right? It's pretty close. We've got 786 is right in line. There's just no structure there. That would be all everything that we're looking at is just kind of previous day's high. Pull back to the previous day's high, right in line with the 186. I mean, day's high. Here's some structure. This is the area here. This is the area down here. That's a really deep pullback. If we get a breakout, look at this. From here to here, we could take a breakout of the opening range, take off 4 contracts right here, and let the other one run as far as it's going to go. What is this red line up here? Previous week's high. Okay, so we've got an ADR and the previous week's high. There should be some sort of a bounce off of that. So definitely be taken off, 4 contracts. If this is where the breakout's going to take place, it's going to be very short, It breaks out, it hits this, and then hopefully goes to it's so strong that it hits like that second ADR, which we would just have to follow. My goodness, I really didn't see any entry earlier on, 7 o'clock, 7:30. We start to make a move. 1 minute left. 23,064. $25 seconds left. Well, that's the deal right there. This is the 15. Let's go to the 5. We do have rally base rally there. Looks like it just missed that ADR. Should get it and let this go. Gonna have to be very aggressive. Not to lose any. It is what it is, right, guys? Let's see if we can get that. Pretty extended here on the 5. Still making a very strong move up. There is the second ADR. Where's the second ADR checkpoint? Oh, and then there's this thing right here. Second ADR, 152, right about there. And we'll see what we get. Don't want to give anything up because of that 500 smack to the face yesterday. Smack to the face. But this is legit, just not allowing any type of retest because it's so close to the ADR, which is why I wouldn't want to allow any kind of retest. That's only 100 something bucks that we'll get back. Looks good, right, guys? It looks good. Is that 14 seconds left? Maybe we get a nice. Okay, very nice. We might get a retest, perhaps putting another order, but we just hit that AD. That's why I don't want. That's the thing, guys. A shallow retest here. We can. It's better to take it again in this area, but hopefully we get some nice move slowly, up to there as far as it's going to go, right? We got to take it as far as it's going to go. So we got back 200 of the 500 that we gave back yesterday. I gave back. But let's just look at what's going on here. Yesterday, I jumped the gun because I was kind of a few steps ahead of the components being met. And if I jumped the gun when all the components were met, that's another story, right? And that's what I wrote about yesterday I made sure that my brain understood what I did yesterday. You have to be very transparent with yourself. Hey, look, CCI is not where we want it to be. And those components are met for a reason. Those components are there for a reason. But I could see it kind of peaking above the zero line, and I kind of saw it doing something. And I said, hey, let's jump the gun on that. No good. If all those components were met, and the opening range was still forming. And I said, hey, let's jump. We got all the components. CCI 3 hour, CCI 1 hour, above the 50 simple on the 1 hour. Cycling up, we've had some bonus components. Then jump the gun. Oh, look at this rally base rally on the 5 minute. Hey, it looks like it's pulling back into that area. Let's jump the gun before the opening range forms and get in on that. That's a whole different story. That was the mistake I made yesterday. So I'm happy to bring you my mistakes live on YouTube. So I think it's great. I think seeing these things happen in real time is great. Now I don't want to. We hit the first ADR checkpoint. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, which is why I don't want to give this rally-based rally a chance, because we hit ADR. If ADR was all the way up here, I would say, hey, you know what? Let's give that a chance. We're also, did we start turning blue yet? No. We also have this thing here, right? Which we haven't hit. Previous month's high, previous day's high, previous day's high. Here's the previous day. Must be previous month's high. Another. It's going to drive me crazy. What was that? Previous week's high, right? Previous month's high is down here. I told you this is a significant area, man. Look at it got us in and then ripped us to the downside. Components were not met when I got in that. So who knows? Maybe we'll survive this. We got $200 back from the 500. Smackaroo to the face yesterday. Don't ever do that again. It's like that Batman and Robin meme where Batman is smacking Robin and then there's like the bubble above his head, and it's like something you can like fill in, whatever, Good Lord. Ugh. So we've got a great system, guys. I have to use it, right? You've got such a great system. Why don't you just use it? Very nice, very nice. Okay, so we're starting a 15-minute candle is trying to break above, close above ADR. Maybe we reach the second ADR. That would be a grand slam victory. Do we dare trail it with our stop loss? Just trail that sucker with the stop loss all the way up to here? Or do we just say, hey, this is as good as it's going to get. Take the money while it's on the table. We only have one contract left, but I think taking off 4 contracts right at that ADR checkpoint in this particular situation, I think that was the right move. Take off the majority of the trade, being that this thing has run its average daily range. Perhaps that's a good idea.
I placed
and
the
we're
order on that 5 minute rally base rally.
okay. All right.
If
Yeah.
if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't hit, then just let it go.
Yeah, you know what? And if you really let's take a look at it. Okay, so here it comes, right? Yeah, I think it's legit. But again, it hit the it hit the ADR, so this thing is tired. So yeah, hey, whatever, man. You take a chance on that. It's a shallow retest, right? We have all the components met for this thing to work. So yeah, rally base rally. It's a shallow retest. It's at the top of the opening range. I love that. We don't know.
I'm
We,
probably gonna do the same thing. Take off like 4 contracts on the for the ADR.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the right move. It is ADR. It is what it is. We know what happens with ADR. We know they're great targets. They've never disappointed us. ADR never disappoints. So we'll see. I think it's going to retest that area, perhaps, then start to move again. I just, after the smackaroo to the face yesterday, I'm like, okay, we'll take the ADR. It's a nice rally-based rally. This is actually where we're at now with the pullback, right? So 3.2 is all the way down here, 618, and then the 786. I don't know. I don't know, man. As long as it's a small risk, right? No matter what you do, like the logic makes sense to take it here because it's a shallow retest and we have all the components met and they're very strong, right? We have very strong readings for an upward move. All of that makes total sense. We're cycling up. There's a lot of good things happening. We had that bullish candle. So yeah, a retest shallow. That's pretty much what we look for. I don't know. No crystal ball. I just know what looks good and what works. And by golly, if we just stick with what works, we're going to do just fine. So yeah, so no more. So it was good. That was a good thing yesterday. The smackaroo to the face yesterday was a good thing. Here, starting to make, whoa. Okay, so now we've hit that previous week's high. And new candle forming on the 5 minute. A good smackaroo to the face is not a bad thing. It is a good thing. And journal about it. I'll send you what I wrote. I'll post it into the I'll put it into the chat. It's just a Word doc about what happened yesterday because I was like, why the heck? But at the time, when you see the price action moving in your favor and CCI is about to go above, quote unquote, about to go above the zero line and things are looking good, they're not set, right? We want to see all conditions met pre-market. Period. End of story. And I wrote about it. It's a couple of paragraphs. And I was at the coffee shop getting my favorite, espresso. It's so good there. It's this French bakery and they really do it great there, right? And I'm enjoying my espresso. And I said, I have to write about this. I'm going to write about this smackaroo to the face. And I went over it, and I wrote it out. I went over it and I was like, you know what? Let's make a rule. Time to make a rule and write it down, And it was just, it was an observation. So you take your observations and that day, you got to do it that day. The next day, you've lost it, The next day you would have lost it. Let's see, do I take $100 and just leave 76 on the table, squeak out another 100, or do I just let this thing go as far as it's going to go? What to do? Second ADR, do I dare go above the second ADR? I think that's really pushing it. I've only got one contract left. I've got one round left in the chamber, right? Pulled off 4, 1 round in the chamber. And the fact that this thing did not pull back and retest, remember, the strongest moves never retest. And that's an observation that we've made. But we did hit ADR, right? So the strongest moves never retest, but they go right to ADR. So I don't know how far this is going to go. I'm just going to let it do what it's going to do. I'll either make $176 or 14. 15-minute chart. Let's see here. We can put this right below. What do we got? 10 minutes left. I'm going to pull out every dollar of this mother. I'm going to squeak out every dollar from this thing that I can. It's only one contract. Get right up under that 15-minute candle. Right up under that 15-minute candle there. Hit that previous week's high and okay. Oh, there we go. $36. I think it should have taken me out. Oh, no, I'm still in. Interesting. Oh my goodness, interesting, huh? Forming another rally base rally here. If I can survive it. Previous week's high. Maybe I take the target at previous week's high. I can't. I just got to let it go. Just got to let it do what it's going to do. Just let it do what it's going to do. If we break above that, what do we call this? A shooting star? Is that a shooting star candle? I can't remember. It's a bearish candle there. If we close above that candle, that would be a significant sign moving a little bit higher, right? Little sidestep, hopefully. What kind of readings are we looking at here? Yeah, look at it. Oh my God, guys. See above 200 on the 3 hour, above 200 on the 1 hour. This is a massive move. Let's say we do get a pullback, guys. I'm going to put this right here. Does that make sense, guys? That supply zone on the 3 hour. I mean, that's that pullback would be quite significant. Let's do like that. 50% is right here. 50% is now sort of right by here. Okay, so it smacked into that previous week's high. What did we get? I got, okay, that's nice. Okay, I got back $232. Okay. Now let's see what's gonna happen here. I do believe that will be it for me on this, but I hope it works out, Kazi. Either way, our analysis is correct, right? It's like we're kind of staring like, oh man, what's gonna happen? Hey, look, we know what happens when it hits ADR, right? It's going sideways right on that ADR mark. There's that previous week's high right above it. We've got some, we've got some cool stuff that really works for us. And you got to you take what it gives you, and that's it. But my God, some very strong momentum readings, momentum and trend working together. My goodness, it was so easy to make this decision today. Whereas yesterday it was like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Come on, come on, come on, get over the zero line. Wrong, wrong way. That self-reflection is very important, guys. When you're like, oh, something's wrong, right? Think about if you're in a relationship with someone and it's like, oh God, what's gonna happen? Yeah, that's not good. It's got to flow. It's got to be easy. It's got to be organic. It's got to be natural. Now look at this. Now it's going to hit that previous week's high again. Hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to let that. Now this is a point in time where FOMO could hit. And you might be saying, oh, maybe I should get in now. That's chasing. We all learned that lesson early on. We all have chased before. And constipation decision. Yes, constipation decision. Exactly. Hey, we made the right choice because we're using a system that we spent a ton of time back testing. Those components are there for a reason. This is another proof of concept. So this will be a great proof of concept video where if you're going to develop a strategy or if you're going to use this strategy, momentum and trend across those multiple time frames, right? And what we love about the opening range breakout is that it's making two variables very objective. It's taking two variables of location, right? Hey, where is this? Where should I take the trade? Oh, well, you take the trade at the breakout of this opening range. When? Well, 9:45 when the opening range forms. So there's an objective place and time that has now been fixed, right? It's no longer variable. We eliminated those two variables. That's why opening range is so powerful, whether people know that or not, right? You're eliminating two variables. There could be thousands of different supply and demand zones, right? Thousands of different formations. Which demand zone is it going to be? I hate playing the demand zone guessing game, right? Oh, is it going to be this one? Oh, it's not that one. It went to the next one. I hate that game, right? So the opening range and the way we designed it eliminates those two variables. It eliminates the where and the when. And that is huge. That's a huge edge. That is a huge edge. Now, what else do we add? Momentum and trend, right? The middle time frame, whatever time frame that is, the middle time frame is your trending time frame. You want to go in the direction of that middle time frame. We use the 1 hour and the 50 simple moving average. CCI, that's what we chose to use for momentum, right? So 3 hour momentum, well, CCI has to be above that zero line. It's better when it crosses above positive 100 and maybe then pulls back to the zero line. That's even better. But it just has to be above the zero line. 1 hour chart has to be above 50 simple moving average, and CCI has to be above the zero line as well. across those multiple time frames. So we've got momentum and trend working across multiple time frames. And then the when and the where, okay, is taken care of. The when and the where is taken care of. That is now fixed. That's no longer a variable, right? And then we look for some sort of supply or demand zone, like this one right in here, inside of the opening range. That's beautiful, right? That makes total sense. You can see how price is lining up on the ADR, and we've got previous months, previous weeks high right here that it's slamming into, and it's kind of going sideways now on that ADR. These are great targets. These are fantastic targets. They never disappoint. And they also tell us the story of the price action, right? We always have to know what's the story with the price action today. Well, we have run the average daily range. This is as far as it usually goes, okay, on an average, right? So very, very powerful stuff. Look how those candles are just, look at all those dojis up there, right? If this turns into a rally-based rally, right? A rally, base rally, perhaps it goes to the second ADR. At this point, now you're playing the guessing game, right? There it is. Fifth wave has just been placed. You can see it's forming. There's that blue candle. We are so informed with that trend cloud because candles are turning ice blue. It's starting to flash and remind you, hey, this is an extended trend now. We've hit the average daily range. Newsflash, probably wouldn't want to be jumping into this at this area right now. Maybe a pullback takes place. So this would pull back shallow into the trend cloud, into this rally-based rally, and then that would be the sixth wave. Push up to here, 7. That's pushing it a little bit for me because of the smackaroo to the face yesterday. So that's my victory for today, and I got to take it. Now, hopefully, how many of these have we traded so far? A lot, right? A lot. And gosh, they work out great. They work out great. We really have got something very, very substantial here. My plan is to pass this combine. I'm very confident that I can hit the 3,000 by the end of the month, right? It's only the 9th. We've done it multiple times, 4 times already. We've been in competition 4 times just doing this. $7,000, $8,000 by the end of the month. Holy schmoly. Okay. Ranking in the top 10, in the top 8, and now in the top 7. Right? Top 7% out of 56,000 people. Did we come in first place? No, some weirdo with a mask and poetry or something came in first place. I don't know about that guy. But we've got something very substantial. This is going to be very powerful. Passing the combine, $3,000. I'm very confident to do that by the end of the month. And then some, put into the Express account. In the Express account, learning how to use the copy trader, which is on Topstep X, and they're going to allow us up to 10. Up to 10. Now you have to pay for each one of those, right? If you do the $50 or $50,000 account, so that'll be $500,000, right? And $500 for the month to maintain those 10 accounts. So yeah, but if we maintain let's say 6,000, let's say we do 6,000 a month, that's $60,000, guys, across 10 accounts. This is the goal. This is the goal, and I think it's very achievable. I think this is a very achievable, I think it's an achievable goal given the data that we have, right? Everything that we've gone through, I think it's very achievable. So, to maintain those 10 accounts using the copy trader on Topstep, if they allow us to do it. I don't know anybody who has done that. I know, Kazi, I know you have two accounts, I believe, that you're using the copy trader on. So, why not 10? There's no difference between 2 accounts and 10 accounts other than the $50 fee that you got to pay for each account. Big deal. If we're doing 6,000 a month in competition, but we've got to just use the method, right? Only jump the gun if all components are met. And that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So I'll post my notes. Let me go over there right now and I will share my thoughts, my deepest thoughts with only you guys. I'm not putting this out on YouTube. Oh my God, we got so much lag. All right, I'll post that for you guys. You could see my notes. Too much lag. But there you go. There is the fifth wave hitting the ADR, starting to pull back. I don't know, Kazi. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm worried about that.
I'm not taking that trade anymore because it's already hit the ADR
Extended.
and yeah,
Yeah. It hit. Oh, right. Okay, you were going to do it before ADR. Okay, I gotcha. That,
yeah, yep.
yes. Okay, see that makes sense. That makes sense. If it didn't quite hit ADR and then pulled back to, so excellent. Yeah, excellent observation. Yeah, very good. That I agree with 100%. Yeah. So yeah. So now it's like let's observe, let's take notes, let's see what's going to happen here and just try to remember. But, either way, trading offensively, this is a defensive move not to take that rally-based rally or that shallow retest. It might shallow retest and then double top at the ADR again, but now we're extended. And look where the next move is. It's back down here, right? Where this initially took off from. All right, so it comes down shallow, double top, and then we get this this breakdown here. And I think that might be the story for today. It'd be very interesting to watch this thing, how it reacts off of ADR and commit that to memory, like ADR, great target, usually goes sideways when it hits the first ADR. So yeah, so 200 and 232 smackaroos.
The copy trading I can show you right now. If you click on that on the left hand side, where it says settings, the little wheel looking thing on the left hand side, right below top, right? Yeah, that one.
Ah, okay.
And I click on that one, and then you see where it says copy trading right there.
Ooh,
And then now you can choose. You can even choose the practice account they gave you, so you can just see an example. Just click on that. You can choose the practice account and put, yeah, see, and then
look at that.
see it's gonna that's the follower account and that's the lead account. You see what I mean?
Oh, follower accounts. I gotcha. Okay, so each one. Now, if I wanted to open up another another account, I would just go to the homepage, sign up for another,
It will
sign
show up
up
in
for
your same. It will show up all of your accounts in the same here. See
in
under
this
the
area here.
if you clear it, I can show you. If you clear the and then yeah, if you where it says lead account.
Right?
So which one you want to lead, and then it's gonna show you all the accounts that you have available.
The accounts that I gotcha. Okay, so
Right now,
this is
that's
my
your lead account. Yeah,
right, right, right. I gotcha.
and then it's gonna
Right.
show
Make
all
this
the
the
accounts.
lead. I
Whichever
gotcha.
one, yeah,
Beautiful.
whichever one you want to make the lead account, it doesn't really matter. And then it's just, yeah, and then you can just say copy, and then it will copy all the trades.
Gotcha. Right. Unbelievable. That is a really good. I don't know now how the heck are they making money then? If I'm in an Express account, they're going to pay me on the Express account?
Yeah, they'll pay you.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the Express
How,
account is something that goes to their trade desk, and then they decide if they want to take that trade for the house account or not. So that's up to them. But you get paid.
ah,
Yeah.
oh, I gotcha. Okay, so they're watching and they're probably going to watch and they're going to pay to watch me because I'm going to
Yeah.
get 90%. And
Yes.
then they're going to say, "Hey, you know what? This guy, he's bringing in." So they're going to have to watch me for a couple of months probably before they reach out to you. I would, before they reach out to you and say, "Hey, we want to fund you with real money." Like, how long do you think that process is?
That I'm not sure. They didn't. It doesn't really say much on their website, or I didn't really ask them the question yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm getting paid, so I'm not really worried about
If you're
it.
getting, yeah, if you're getting paid on it, it's like, okay. Yeah, I definitely plan on I definitely plan on keeping in touch with them. I think you can reach out to their risk management team and say,
Yeah,
hey, you know,
yeah.
here's my trade plan. This is what I've been doing. Just keep an eye on me. Really looking forward to, getting funded and working, working with Topstep, send them a nice email. And
Right. And
and,
then
and this way
they give you 1099 at the end of the
a
year so that
1099. That's right. That's right. A
so it's
1099. I saw that. Yeah.
and then so it's
I
better. It's like your own income tax versus, paying the capital gains taxes. It's gonna be a lot
Yeah,
better.
there is a bit. Yeah, my CPA said futures is definitely better for in
And stocks,
taxes
yeah.
and everything. So all of that will be listed. Yeah, I
Yeah, and then
think we're
1099 is
we're
even better. 1099 is like your own, whatever your personal tax rate is that's what you pay.
gotcha. Okay, I gotcha. Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, so we're looking good. We're looking good, guys. I mean, as long as we follow a strategy, use logic, don't get overexcited. Again, the big lesson that I taught myself yesterday, and I wrote it out as a rule. The rule is you can only jump the gun before the opening range forms. You can jump the gun and take an entry only if those components are met. Only if all conditions are met. 3 hour chart. Is it above the zero line on CCI? Yes. Okay. 1 hour chart. Is price above the 50 simple? Yes. Is CCI above the zero line on the 1 hour chart? Yes. Okay, great. Now you can jump the gun. Now you can jump the gun. But you can't, that's all got to be pre-market stuff before the opening range forms. It's got to be there before the opening range forms. So it was a great lesson. I needed to get a smack in the face. Here's that pullback. I think this is going to be a deep pullback. Let's go back over to trend cloud and then we'll call it a day here. But yeah, right. Makes sense, right? Deeper pullback, hitting the 382, bouncing off the 382 inside a trend cloud and this rally-based rally. That makes sense. Let's see if it doubles back. Let's see if we get a double top on the ADR. But
There's one more
starting to
thing, to get the copy trade, you have to pass every single combine. So every time you have to sign up for a new account and you have to pass the combine.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay, so
it's not
that's
gonna
going to
be.
take.
Yeah, they're not gonna give you automatic.
I gotcha. Thank
But
you.
here's the thing. You can, if you have an Express account, you can make that
Yeah.
one the lead account. So you're still making money, but that will also copy trade on all the other combines. That's a good thing.
Okay. Okay. So then it's gonna take about 10 months to get
Yes, yeah.
10 accounts.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
gotcha. Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. That's reasonable. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Well, that's a huge piece of the puzzle then. Okay. So then every month, because that's the thought process then. All right, pass this combine. Then in August, sign up for the other account, pass that combine, and then every month just keep moving forward. And I know we can do this, guys. I know we can do this. So it's just stick with the strategy and every month open up that new combine, pass it, get that account under your belt to copy trade and just continue. That's exciting. That's very exciting to me. So thanks for that, Kazi. That was a big piece of information that I didn't know, and I'm glad we were able
But
to share
like I
that
said, you
with
can
the
use
group.
you can make the Express account as the lead account and let all the other
Right?
accounts follow. That way you're making money and passing combine at the same time. So that's pretty cool.
Yes. Makes total sense. That makes total sense. Whoa, here we go. Okay. This is great. This is really great. I'm glad we're getting this on video. The power of ADR and the power of the extended trend. Two very useful pieces of information, and there you go. There it is. Again, proof of concept right here. ADR, watch out. If you hit ADR, that's the average daily range. It's a great target, and then you're going to see some sort of pullback. Combine that with the extended trend, and you've got something. How did we know this was going to happen? Right? I mean, we called it as we were seeing it, right? Because we've seen it so many times. And that's why it's on our chart. So this pullback probably going to close below the 50 simple moving average on the 5-minute chart. We've got all this consolidation. It's hitting the 618 retracement level. That's great, but it's not far enough. It's not deep enough into this thing. Here's previous month's high. Is that the previous month's high? I'm telling you that previous month's high is going to be right here. That previous month's high is going to be quite significant. That's going to be quite a significant area. And this makes sense. It kind of trails along here, hitting it ever so often before it makes a move up. We have to watch for that as well. Now that's going to break below the opening range here. And I think that's going to throw a monkey wrench into the price action. And that's going to be it. We're going to see some consolidation again across here. And then hopefully by tomorrow, we get some great signals to the upside again tomorrow. Great job, guys. Kazi, thank you for all the great information. And that's it. I will edit the video. I'll send that out to you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Great job, everybody.